What is going on, everybody? So today we have Andre from Ponzi Pandas, and I think this is a fabulous project. I think this is something that is really going to do something good in the NFT world. They are basically putting together 5,555 pandas that are going to give back to people in regions that are able to help them build coffee shops and able to give back to the communities in general. But first, let's start off basically like who you are, why you founded this project, what your vision is, what you're passionate about, and just kind of give people a background into you so they know who they're really investing in when they're looking at this project.
Sure. So hi everyone. Thank you, man, for having me here or having us here. My name is Andre. I live in Guatemala. The team that assembles Ponzi Pandas, it's a 6-person core team, right? 4 of us live in Guatemala. Me, my wife, and my best friend, and my other best friend. So my kind of my background is it's kind of strange. I'm a music producer. I've been into crypto for about 5 years now. I've been scammed, robbed. I've been through it all. I've been a diamond holder, and pretty much about like 8 months ago, 7 months ago, I found NFTs. So my best friend started making NFTs, and to me, like the idea of selling JPEGs was just crazy. Like, how the heck do you make money out of this? What's the purpose? But then I started doing some research. He helped me along the way. We started like our own personal collection with my wife, and we just fell in love with the NFTs. A thousand reasons for that, but pretty much, uh, it's a different rush than the one you get from crypto, because regardless, like if you're on a super solid project, crypto is extremely volatile. I remember I used to spend 3 in the morning, like laying in bed just watching my phone, watching charts. But yeah, the reason behind Ponzi Pandas is that uh, I just love NFTs. I've been working in NFTs for about 5 months now. Like I said, I have a personal collection with my wife, and I also work for a token with my best friend. We have been doing different NFT drops, and so we just really love drawing. We love making art. It's as a musician, I think is that artist part in us that just cannot stand still. Like we need to be doing something, and drawing to me, it just really helps me like relax, take my mind off things. Honestly, since the COVID stuff, like our standard of society is just messed up now. You wearing masks with people, being with like on a meeting with another person, you have to wear a mask and like say hi through the elbow. So art has been like this escape place for me. Like just takes the edge of things. So as well, when COVID started, I moved out of the city. That was a personal decision, and we decided to invest some of the earnings we have made on crypto, and we decided to open a coffee shop. And so we just fell in love with coffee. Pretty much, we were doing the marketing. We were the like the baristas, everything for the coffee shop, and like eventually you just get to love it. Like you love everything about it. It's a huge industry. There's a lot of detail, a lot of like intricacies behind the coffee, like any sort of like movement. And uh, you fast forward the time, and then we're just sitting with my friend and my wife, and it's like it would be fantastic if we can actually merge coffees with NFTs. Why NFTs? Because we just love NFTs, and if there could be a way that we can add some utility to them, but also tie it to the coffee thing, that would be amazing. And so we started like going back and forth, like discussing between us, like what would be a good way to go about it. So I'll just do a cut right there. The 2 other members from Guatemala, they're missionaries here. Like pretty much their life is about supporting people, teaching kids, helping people out of pretty much their misery, right? Helping them out with a lot of things. And so for us, education is something very important. Like when I used to be a music producer, I just love teaching. I love doing like workshops, and like really wanted people to learn and to perfect themselves. And so we're thinking like, okay, like we have coffee, we have NFTs, and we can also open a door to actually help people. And if NFTs have changed our life, like my wife's, mine, my friend, well, we can just teach this to indigenous people that pretty much have no resources, or that, you know, like they don't have any possible way to actually improve their life instead of just making beans, you know. um, and so uh, probably you have questions for this down the road, and I don't want to spill the beans in 5 minutes, but pretty much that's like all the basics behind the Ponzi Pandas.
So basically, did you have a background in coffee shops already, or is this just something that on the fly you decided, hey, you know, this is kind of a niche in this area that could really do well and kind of give back to people, employ people? Was that kind of the concept, or, you know, what was the vision behind the coffee shop in general?
Yeah, okay. So I used to had a coffee shop. We had that business for up like a year, but we had a partner that was a bad player, and we like for our own, you know, for our own sake, we decided to close the thing. So I ended up having like all this machinery, like expensive coffee machinery, espressos, and everything, and it's just sitting there on my, you know, like on my house. My friend, the other NFT artist, like he actually has a coffee van, so it's kind of a twist to the coffee shop because it's mobile, right? Like he can just pack the truck, the van, just go to a place, give coffee, pack it back home, and pretty much that's it. So we have previous experience in coffee. Mine ended, but I still have all the knowledge and I still have the machinery. And my friend has an active coffee van shop, pretty much. And so the like down the road with our project is that we want to open a coffee shop on Antigua, Guatemala. Like Antigua, Guatemala is a huge tourist place in Guatemala. Like I could say that it's probably top one in Central America. There's there's crazy amounts of people that just visit every time of the year. It's beautiful. Like honestly, it's unbelievable there. So we're thinking about creating a coffee shop that it's also an NFT gallery. So like we can talk to our friends and other projects and actually have an exhibit for NFTs while you drink some cool coffee, you know. But the way we want to tie the teaching part is that on this location or locations, because we also have partners on the US and we want to branch out, is that we want to buy a whole bunch of iPads and actually teach kids, you know, indigenous persons how to draw, how to make NFTs, explain to them, because like on reality, NFTs is not that easy to understand. It's complicated. And
So
so
basically, they could come into the coffee shop. They're sitting there. They're having their coffee. They're going to be able to grab an iPad, and there's going to be some kind of learning literature on there for them to kind of get the idea. So that way, if it's something they're interested in or they really wanted to learn, you know, as they're just sitting down having their coffee, they're going to be able to study and have a way to learn how to possibly do NFTs. Is kind of the concept I'm grabbing, right?
yeah, I mean, I hope we get to automate the process so it's like just more easy to deliver content daily. I'm guessing that at least for the first month, it's going to be a real university. Like we'll be there teaching this people how to do it until we actually get some sort of automated process. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of education that goes beyond this, and it's like a lot of videos, research, printing papers and stuff. But honestly, to me, like the one-on-one experience, just having someone teaching you and guiding you through it, it's like that's priceless, and that's what we want to do. So I mean, we have other side jobs, and you know, like the token I mentioned behind the stage, but we really want to open like new doors with Ponzi Pandas, like have our own coffee that it's available at the coffee shop or for expert wide. That's our goal. But also be able to teach these kids. And I mean, we already have a selection of the kids because my friends, like I said, right? So they run a school for them that I think before COVID there were 300 kids. So imagine like at least 100 of them get interested on this. That's 100 new opportunities that you can change their life, because pretty much the Mayan culture, I don't know if you've seen it, but like the textiles and like the all the art they make is amazing. Like it's unbelievable the amount of talent that it's here, but no one is finding a way to actually help them exploit that. You know, like they don't have the tools, they don't have the knowledge, they lack the vision because they just don't know this type of world. And so
So
we
what
want
I'm
to,
gathering, so what I'm gathering too is, okay, so we know there's a lot of art, culture, heritage in Guatemala. So here's what I'm kind of envisioning, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. So you're opening your coffee shops. Ponzi Panda gets huge. I mean, like we were talking before we came on, I mean, all it takes is one big player to really see the value in this art and what you're doing for this thing to explode, for this entire series to sell out. And when that happens, when 5,555 pandas are sold out, I mean, he's going to be able to do life-changing things with that money that he's bringing in from these NFTs. And I feel like on the website, even maybe you could incorporate like the people in your community that are now employed at these coffee shops, the people that are now in your community from these missionaries and these other places that are making their own art, that are, being involved in this. Maybe there can be a section on the website where each of these children or these people that are getting into NFTs, maybe they can showcase their art. Maybe they can, put something together and be like, hey, Ponzi Pandas, can we put this on your site? And give them a way to not only showcase their talents and their art to the world that would have never saw them, but also be a way to put a little coin in their pocket. Because we all know these type areas, they are not fluent. They don't have a ton of money. They don't have a lot of opportunity. And I just feel like all it takes is that one person, right? That one big name or one big hit for an artist in your network to really get their name out there and make it big. And I know one other thing we talked about, and it's a topic everybody wants to know. Everybody knows why I'm the Ponzi Slayer, right? Because I take out bad people. I take out people that are putting on Ponzi schemes. I'm relentless. I go after these people because at the end of the day, that's what needs to be done. So when it comes to Ponzi Pandas, we were talking, like some people were like, well, what does that mean? Like, what is the concept? Why are they called Ponzi Pandas? So maybe you can give people an in-depth, explanation so they can better understand where your Ponzi name comes from.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why we haven't been like really exploding our social media, and I just want to address something first, Salo. Yes, there are barbershops here. This is voluntary. So yeah. The reason behind the name is one, because like we love to joke, man. Like we are not serious people. Like we like to have fun. We're jokesters. You jump into a space and sometimes we say like, sarcastic comments just because we're morons at the end of the day. Like, like we like to have fun. We like people to feel comfortable. So sarcasm is just part of our nature, I guess. That's point one. But also like most of us have been scammed before. Like I said, like I said, like I have been robbed, I've been scammed, I've been cheated, I've been through it all the kinds of process, all the types of ways you can get scammed. I've been there in 5 years. And at first you feel like you're dying, then you just get mad, then you get pissed and you want to kill somebody, but you learn to control these things and you learn to do your own research better, right? You learn to talk to people, you learn to warn them, you learn like all this, how to spot red flags and all of this stuff. And so we were thinking like, a name that is catchy, that people will never forget, but that also kind of explains our background. So Ponzi started like roaming around, but the way this really ties in, and it's one of the main reasons I was saying that we're not exploding on social media right now, is because we're waiting on our video animation. So the video or the story behind the pandas is what actually like gives it all the life to the Ponzi, right? So I don't have the text with me because I can read it, but pretty much a colony of 5,555 pandas wanted to invest, and they saved all their money to they wanted to start a bamboo franchise. So they were talking and they were finding and negotiating with people, and they end up going to this badger salesman who ended up being a Ponzi badger salesman. And he cheats them. So instead of them buying a bamboo land, they just buy an old piece of land that has some coffee beans in there. So the pandas, being pandas, lovely, fluffy little things, they see the cup half full. So they say, like, what the heck, we're just going to make the best out of this experience. And so they say, wait, why don't we just learn the art of coffee? So they start investigating about the aroma, like all the characteristics behind the coffee. And they fall in love with coffee, and so they decide to make the best of their situation and pretty much start a coffee branch. And hence they go back and forth, and it's like, hey, what do we call our coffee? What can we relate to? And they decide to use their own experience. So hence the Ponzi. Um, I think Ponzi pandas would be like a better fit because the pandas were Ponzied, not they are not the Ponzis. And I see Luke talking about my beard. Luke Humphries is the missionary that I was mentioning about. Hey, Luke.
So you know Luke personally in real life then. You know, this isn't one of those things where, you know, you just met him online and you know, we hear a million times, right? You know, well, I didn't know so and so you know, they did this and this. Like, these are real world people that are actually helping you with your project, which I think is fantastic. Because, you know, I try to tell people all the time, you really need to start associate yourself with people that you truly trust and know, right? Because this whole deal where, you know, you're just getting on the web and going, okay, well, I'm just going to hire this guy to do my art or do this. It's just bad business, man. So the fact that you got Luke and some of these other people here that you personally know and are involved in your projects, I think that's fantastic. So let's jet over and look at the project in general and kind of give people an idea of what it is.
Yeah, of course.
So first I want to start off with you guys' Twitter. You know, the art is clean, man. It really is. Like, I really like the art. A lot of attention to detail. And I'm going to show you guys just how much detail went into the panda that they gifted me. As always, I do not reach out to people and ask them for money. I do not ask them to do anything for me. Andre went out of his way and made a panda for me on his own after I said I really liked his project and his vision of what he's trying to do. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, man, they're just really cool, you know, designs, the art, everything like that. Like I said, everything's clean. You got a lot of different little attributes, you know, the hat, the glasses, you know, it's just cool stuff. So let's jet over here. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on the actual website. You know, you guys can always check that stuff out on your own. When I have the people that are behind the projects and the mind of the project, I want you to get a feel for who they are. I mean, anybody can slap some shit on a white paper, but you know, it's best to hear it from the source themselves and the actual owner of the project. So you just kind of went over, you know, the coffee and everything else. You know, I know we have, where was it? So roadmap, where are we at right now in the roadmap? We're in phase 1, right? We just launched. You don't have the series out yet. If you kind of want to give people an idea of what timeline we're looking at right now.
Yeah. So like pretty much the project, I believe, launched probably like 15 or 16 days ago, that we actually opened the Twitter, opened the Discord, like really put our name to the public. So launch Twitter, launch Discord, the website, like you see it right there. Right now for us, it's just a matter of building community. You know, like on NFTs, really the success of an NFT is not, obviously the project, the people behind the project is super important, but the community is a huge. So if you buy a community, they're pretty much not going to do anything for you. Like if you grow them organically, you know, and like the people that join your community like actually feel like they belong to that place, that becomes a solid community. And for us, like one of the amazing things about this, like meeting people through the web, it's kind of complicated because you don't know who they really are. You know, like you see one face and you talk to one person, but you have no idea whatsoever like who they really are in real life. But it's also very cool because you get to meet people from all over the world, and there's some really cool people on the space. And for us, like running the Discord and, you know, like meeting people and doing spaces, it's also about networking, you know, like finding new friendships. I mean, Dogs of Mandox, I love all the team. I love Doug O'Donovan. He was an investor on the token I work for, and he just became a friend, you know. Shane, he got operated today after 2 years, so that he's been waiting on the surgery. And then you learn real problems on this person's life, and that's just amazing to me. So pretty much on the roadmap for the pandas, it's all about building community until we actually launch the collection.
And I'll tell you what I like about this white paper. Everybody that follows my channel, you know, when I do a review, I'm straight to the point. I tell it how it is. I don't care who it offends, because that's why people want to work with me to begin with, because they know I'm going to give an unbiased, honest answer. And what I really like about this is you have realistic, obtainable numbers in your phase one. When I go to a white paper or a website and I see 5,000 members or 10,000 members or 20,000 members in the very first phase of a project, I know you're on some bullshit. I know that you're not serious about your project, because we all know the NFTs especially is a community-driven project, right? So right out the gate, before you ever have a product for people to buy and be involved with, you're not going to have thousands of people, right? It's going to be an organic growth of people that genuinely love your project. They like you as a person. They like what you bring to the table. They like your vision. And that's where you're really going to start building your base. So the fact that you guys didn't put a bunch of just BS on this white paper tells me that you're very serious about your project. Like I said, 300 Twitter followers, you're well over that. I'm not in your Discord, but 200 Discord members does not seem crazy at all. I think you did a really good job of being realistic with the community and not over exaggerating. So obviously we're heading into phase two after that. When exactly is the 5,555 pandas launching? Are you launching them all at once? Is it as I buy it, it's an instant mint? Like, what's the process we're looking at?
Okay, so I'm probably just gonna go all over the place for the roadmap. But the way this collection will work is that we will have 3 drops. So let me briefly explain. We will start with the first collection, that is the 5,555 pandas. There will be a mint page on certain day. Honestly, the day is not yet written in stone. I'm thinking it's probably going to be June, but I mean, that really depends on a bunch of factors, to be honest. But the collection will be, you'll be able to go to the page, connect your wallet, mint however you want. We won't put a lock on that. And then when you mint that, you'll mint it on our own contract, and then it's gonna drop on OpenSea. And if another platform that we're working for the token is actually, launched by then, it's gonna be exclusively on that platform. It's called Mandox Create. So pretty much, there will be a waiting time for the reveal. It's not a click and mint and reveal instantly. We want to have some sort of, waiting period, just because it's fun. I personally like to see, because if you go to a project and someone mints a ultra rare, then it's like, oh crap, I already missed one, But the energy, the the mystery of actually getting an ultra rare is what kind of gives a lot of sense to a blind mint. So there will be a waiting period for reveal date. So once the first collection is dropped, some time will pass. Let's say God is good and we actually sell the entire collection, then pretty much the waiting game won't be that long, because from part of those earnings, we're going to start the coffee shop, the NFT gallery. We'll put everything in motion with the funds, the academy, all of that will kickstart immediately. But at the same time that we release our own coffee, we want to release the second collection. That it's we're lowering the supply to 3,333 NFTs, but it's going to be a special coffee NFT. You won't have super weird traits. It's going to be more standard. But the point is that if you have a panda and you give him the coffee, then something very cool is going to happen to him. So we're lowering the supply for that. And we want to tie those coffee NFTs to our real coffee. I don't want to overpromise on the utility, but we're kind of thinking a one-on-one, a 1 pound coffee for the NFT or something. We're trying to find some cool ways to, to really push our coffee as well. Because at the end of the day, we just love coffee, man, a lot. But then pretty much after that collection is all minted out, then it comes the third collection, that is the mutant pandas. So pretty much what happens is you give, right there you have a kind of a formula. So if you give your OG panda some coffee, then he's going to mutate into this apocalyptic zombie, undead, more grungy looking panda. And that's the first phase of the collection, what we have so far.
That's pretty cool. And, I'm not, we talked about before you came on, I'm not a huge NFT guy as far as having a ton of NFTs. A lot of the NFTs I buy are, Dogs of Mandox, Days Dogs, obviously a Ponzi Panda now. But I do know a little of something, and like the apocalyptic apes and that kind of stuff. They got like serums and all kinds of stuff, and those are going for some serious cash, right? Those are really going for some cash. So if this were to take off, like those have, I mean, this concept you have right here of being able to mutate your panda, I think that's going to be massive. I think that is going to be something that people are going to want to do. Like, and hard telling what you get, right? Like, you give it the coffee, and hell, you might get a super ultra rare one that sells for 10 ETH. You just don't know. It's, there's people that love their NFTs, and they'll pay whatever they have to pay to get the one they want. So, I mean, I think that's a really cool concept. I like what you guys are doing. So basically, like he said, the line hasn't launched yet, but they have put together promotional pandas for certain people that have helped their projects so far. So I just wanted to show you guys some of those. And like I said, the attention to detail is really neat on these. So Crypto Empress is actually a friend of mine, and she's in a few projects that I'm in, and she is just a fabulous person. So when I saw her as part of your project, or that you guys had done a Panda for her, I was really excited because she really is a good person. And honestly, she's how I heard about your project, right? Because she's the projects that I'm involved with and invested in personally. And I kept seeing Ponzi pandas, and obviously I was like, what is a Ponzi panda? Because obviously, my name's Ponzi Slayer. I checked it out. And like I said, guys, the attention to detail on these, she's got her chain that says Empress. They just do a really good job on these. It's like I said, I think it's just really neat what they're doing, the attention to detail, the time that he's taking to put in these. Let's look at the one they did for me. And like I told Andre, most people would not pick up on this, but I'm a person that is extremely attentive. I pay attention to details. I'm always looking, paying attention to my surroundings. And one of the first things I noticed is something that no one else has even said, is the fact that the name tag on the Panda says Ponzi Slayer. I mean, that is legitimately some serious attention to detail, man. And like I said, 90% of people would have not even paid attention to that. But that is just really, it just speaks volumes to the time, and effort that these guys are putting into these NFTs, that he made sure that it said that. I mean, that's just, really cool. I really like that. And like I said, you guys, you're looking at 7 that they've done already. And me and Andre were talking before. There are a couple other ones like, people have as their profile pictures, like some of your mods and people like that, correct? Like they just are those mock-ups. They're not really minted, correct?
Yeah, they're not minted yet. We're debating. Like I see a discussion right now in the chat about especially the Neymar one, the one with the soccer ball. Because I want to give like a Web3 personality to our team members. Like we don't have a problem doxing. Like like, hey, I'm Andre. You can see my face. Like no problem at all. We have nothing to hide. But I find that it's very cool when you actually go into a project and you find like the Web3 version of the project for the creators. So I just want to like have the people on the team have some sort of relationship with their Panda, like some special trade that kind of like links them to the Panda. So like, for example, like on your case, like it was a no-brainer, like I'm not a soldier or anything, but I'm a Viking by nature, I guess, and I just love weapons and stuff. So like it kind of makes sense to me, like to put the name tag and everything. So man, we're working really hard. We're being very detailed about the layers and the traits and like all the things that are going on on every Panda, and like that all the layers, when you mix and match them, that they all look awesome. By this point, we have experience with that, especially Luke and I. We already released 2,000 NFTs, and like it's a learning curve, man. Honestly, like you learn to better yourself to make better work that it just ties completely, because it's fun. It's fun.
So Andre, Jennifer is wanting to know, can you give a little more of the story of why the pandas mutate? Can you give her, go over that a little bit more?
Sure, it's because coffee is just amazing, and they just drink so much coffee. And oh, I know where you're going, Jenny. Yeah. So this is why I hate not bringing the story, because I should have just read the whole thing. But the pandas, when they get scammed and they decide to make the best out of their experience with the coffee plot that they got, they started doing experiments with their coffee. So they started to mix it and match it, and like add flavors and add chocolate and whatever crazy pandas do. And then like some sort of explosion just happens on their coffee lab, and pretty much they all get affected by it, or more specifically, 3,333 pandas get affected by this coffee weird experiment, and then they just mutate and they become the third collection that will be popping up eventually.
Now, are people going to be able to mix their coffee? Like, okay, say you got like a chocolate coffee and a vanilla coffee. Are they able to take those together and then put them together and then get like a super mutated panda? Or is this basically like, okay, you have the Ponzi Slayer panda. This panda can only drink this coffee and get these, options. Is that kind of what's the basis there?
Yeah, the basis is I think we're gonna have three different types of coffee. Like I'm just going way over my head, or like moving forward too fast because the first collection is not out. But I think we're going to release like three types of coffees. Like an Americano, like super espresso or whatever. So depending on what type of coffee you actually buy, that will give you like some sort of special trait for your mutant. So it's not really about the panda; it's more about the coffee. Like as long as you have an OG panda like from the collection and he drinks the coffee, then something is just gonna happen. Now, the thing is that there's gonna be less coffees than there are pandas. So there are pandas that are just gonna be like there sitting by themselves, singing "Hello, darkness, my old friend." But yeah, man, pretty much.
So, okay, one more question. So obviously, if you get a 101, so like we'll take mine for example. It's a 101. Now, can I decide which coffee I want to use, or is it only going to be a certain coffee that can use? So I guess what I'm getting at is, okay, so say I know if I buy the caramel coffee for this panda, this is the attributes I might get. But okay, say I'm like, well, I want to buy the chocolate too because I want the attribute. Is that possible, or is that something that once you mutate your panda, that's the only mutation you're going to get? So you better pick which one you want up front. You get what I'm saying? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, but it's going to be a little more spicy than that, because with the coffees, it's going to be a blind NFT as well. So pretty much you're on your own luck of what you get, pretty much. Okay. So let's say that this is successful, like the first collection mints out, and like the 5,555 pandas are completely sold out. Then we'll release the mint for the coffees, right? But I mean, if you have 4,000 people holding pandas, only 3,333 of them will be able to get one. It's like pretty much first come, first serve, I guess. And that's why whitelists become so important for these types of things. But pretty much the way this works is that you go to the website, and then you the smart contract recognizes that you own a panda. So you kind of like give your coffee to the contract, and it gets burned, and it gives you the new mutant. So you end up with your OG panda, and you end up with a mutated version. And
what is the floor price on the 5,555? What is the floor price on the 3,333? And then what is going to be the price of the mutation?
Okay, so the coffee mutation is going to be free. So pretty much you need to purchase the OG panda and the coffee, and you get the mutated version for free. We're still trying to work out the details for the minting price for the coffee. But for the pandas, for the first collection, if you're on the whitelist, it's 0.04 ETH per NFT. There's not going to be a maximum that you can mint. If you want to mint 100, you can mint 100. If you want to mint 1, you can get 1. For public sale, it's going to go at 0.06 ETH, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, all it takes is that one person to see this art and really fall in love with it. I guess the other question I had is, okay, how much of the proceeds from each NFT are going to the coffee shops? What is the breakdown of the money coming in?
I think it's roughly 10 to 15% that is going strictly to the coffee. But by that I mean like to the actual coffee business, like the exportation, the printings, the packages, like all that stuff. I believe there's 5, 6, or 8% that is going strictly to getting iPads for kids. I'm actually very afraid of that's how that is going to work, because it's a lot of iPads. I don't know if the stores have that amount of iPads. So like a big part of the allocation, I would say like 20-25% is just strictly for the business operation. Then we have some allocation for marketing, like to keep pushing these things forward. Some artist payment, and probably missing something. But yeah, man, like 20 to 25 is like the coffee gallery and teaching part, pretty much.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like this project. I like what you guys are trying to do. I think you're very artistic. And one thing that's really important, guys, is the community, right? Like we already talked about the community and how important they are, but being that I've been on some of their spaces and that I've interacted with people within the community, I can tell you that everyone that owns a Panda or that is passionate about this project are very nice people, very helpful. Like anyone that I've seen that has had questions about NFTs or wanted to learn more about NFTs, these people have no problem taking them to the side and helping them or showing them how to mint, even if it's not a project. Because like I said, these aren't even mintable. And I've seen people within the Ponzi Panda community reach out and say, hey, you're welcome to DM me. I'll walk you through how to mint, this other project that you're interested in. So I think that just speaks volumes to the type of people that are already building in this community. And I think you guys are really just going to take off. Like I said, the art, the dedication, the time going into each piece, I think you guys are onto something. And like I said, the fact that it's not just an NFT, it's not just, people making money on some art, you're actually putting it to real world use that's going to help people and help children. That's really important to me. So, I mean, we went over the basics of the entire project. Is there anything else you want to let people know or tell them, drop, thank yous to anybody or whatever you want to do, Andre? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank the persons that are here. I see like all the familiar names. It's overwhelming seeing their support. Like I appreciate you personally, all of you. Thank you. There's very cool projects out there. There's very cool people on the space. We are here to help everyone on our team. Like if you have questions regarding NFTs or crypto or whatever, like we're here to help everyone out. Like education is a big part of us. We love helping people out. It may come as a shocker on this business, but I mean, honestly, we just love helping people out. If you're not on our Discord, I highly suggest you get on the Discord. There's constant giveaways, and you can also earn your whitelist spot, so you'll be able to mint at a cheaper price. Like we'll be ramping up our marketing campaigns and trying to get more exposure and actually being more aggressive with what we're doing. We're just waiting on that video animation for the story that just kind of makes sense and ties everything together, because having Ponzi on our name has been some sort of a debate, we've gone into spaces when people is like, hey dude, but you have Ponzi on your name, like, are you a scam? Like, what the heck is going on? And it's like, you need to listen to the story so it actually makes sense. The story the story just ties everything together. So we just didn't want to release the story as a like, hey, you can read it here. Like, we actually want to have a cartoon that explains the story, and that's being worked on right now. I'm guessing the time frame is less than 10 days for the video to arrive, and once that's out, then it's full steam ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, look, man, this goes with any project, token, coin, whatever. Education's huge. And, if you're coming into a space and you hear rug pull, scam, Ponzi, and you don't take the time to actually look at the project, you don't take time to look at the white paper, you may overlook this project. So that is their loss, obviously, because someone like me that looks into every single project in depth, I see exactly what you're doing. I see the vision. I see the emphasis on why you're saying Ponzi pandas. How they're recovering from a bad, event. But not everyone is going to do that. So I think what you're doing as far as putting out some kind of literature or visual that people can watch and kind of get an idea, I think that's perfect. And like I said, it boils down to education. It's going to be, they're going to watch the video. They're going to get a lot more clear understanding of the principles behind this project. But that goes with anything in general. Like I said, when I was in your space the other day, I made it very clear. When you were hosting, you made it very clear. Look, guys, once again, whether it's a coin, a project, an NFT, if you have a question or you're not sure about something, you are welcome to DM me and ask me. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try to find it for you. If I don't know the answer and it's something that Andre is a lot more capable of answering as far as NFTs or artwork or minting, reach out to him. He's always available to help you guys. I've seen him day in and day out helping people in the community with questions and working with them. So these people are approachable, guys. They really are. This isn't Walmart where you go in the store and you can't speak to anybody that you really need to talk to. I mean, these people are literally on Twitter, Telegram, Discord every day. They're approachable. They are more than willing to help the community. All you got to do is reach out and ask. And on that note, I think we went over a ton about the project. I think, people got a pretty good grasp with the visual drops. You're more than welcome to let me know. I will share it, obviously. And Andre, you're always welcome to come back, obviously, anytime. If you got some kind of big update or right before the drop, you're always welcome to come back on the show, and we'll show people and we'll talk about it again. You just let me know.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. We'll definitely be back. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you updated, and hopefully I'll be soon giving more details and revealing the mint date. I guess that would be the next big step. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the time, the space, for hosting us, the questions, everything. Every person that support us, we will always cherish that. We will always appreciate you. It's about the community. It's about building trust. It's like I always said, is the power through unity. Helping every human out. We're all brothers and sisters at the end of the day. And if you know something that can help other person be successful, then why would you keep it to yourself? So pretty much that's our same goal. That's our vision. So yeah, man, appreciate it, and thank you for hosting me.
Anytime, man. I want to say once again, thank you for my Panda. It will be sitting in my wallet. I love it. I think you did a great job. And, I see my friend Donovan in here. 2 great projects. I love Dogs and Mandox.
Yeah.
I just, you guys and Days Dogs NFTs or the projects that I'm most passionate about, because I know the people behind the projects and I know the integrity and values and morals that you guys bring to the table. And that's why I'm so willing to help any way I can, because you guys are really good people and you're in this for the right reasons. So those are people that I will always stand by 100, especially Dogs of Mandox. Their community really shows out for you guys. They're super big supporters of Ponzi Pandas and vice versa. So on that note, guys, as always, you need anything, reach out to me, reach out to Andre, and when they have any big updates, we'll be back.
Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate, man. Thank you. And thank you, Dalgo and Danny.
See you guys.
See ya.